Hi, this is Emily Sterrick Thomas, and for this discussion board, I'm going to be discussing my vision statement for use of technology in my classroom. So before I talk about the use of technology in education and my vision statement, I need to talk to you a little bit about where I'm coming from. I'm talking about use of technology for a Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 classroom, which would be a high school level class. Also, the school I teach at has begun implementing a one-to-one initiative where every student has access to a Chromebook and Google Classroom. So this really gives me a unique opportunity to begin to implement this technology, and all the research and things that I do for this class, I'm going to focus on a flipped classroom model. A flipped classroom model is where students view a lesson at home and do some activities, and then when they come to class, we do the homework and the activities together, but they do all the initial note-taking at home. Simonson and all his partners in the book that we read for teaching and learning at a distance talked about flipped classroom by saying, the networked computer permits the learner to access events of instruction that can be tailored to meet individual needs. So these events of instruction, as they call them, are going to take place at home for my class when I implement these lessons. Wynn says, the argument can be made that we no longer need to remember what we need to know. We can simply call it up and display it when it is needed. I find this to be very true. I have to do a lot more work with my students for memorization, the things they learn in my Spanish classroom, simply because they don't do a lot of memorization anymore. They don't need to learn times tables. They always have a calculator. They don't need to know conversions because they always have the internet available. So we really have to do a lot more of those activities and make them technology-based to make them fun. So whenever I decided to write a vision statement, my first thing I did was Google, how do you write a vision statement? Because obviously, as a member of this generation and this kind of learning community, that's how I go. That's my go-to for everything I need to learn. David Masters, I think, said it best when he says that a vision statement needs to be aspirational, inspirational, and motivational. So here's the mission statement I came up with. As a tech-centered classroom, I create fun, technology-based classroom assignments that are relevant to the curriculum, easy to access by the student, and that enhance understanding. So the implications for me, obviously I always try to make everything I do fun in the classroom. I think that without a sense of humor, without fun, students won't do anything. So for me, this is going to look like games, activities that are relevant, that are interesting, and have good, fun, interactive things to do. The curriculum needs to be relevant. Because I wrote this curriculum that I use in my Spanish 1 and 2 classroom, I'm very familiar with what is curriculum relevant. I am not trying to use technology just to do something fun, just to do something different. I think that technology needs to be easy to access. Kids that don't have access to this really struggle. So I have students that when we do these flipped classrooms will come to me and say, what do? I don't have internet access at home. And I will say to them, I'm willing to have this conversation with you, but you need to understand that this conversation is going to end with us finding a way to you to access this, not with me giving you an alternative way to do it. And we do have resources. They can come in before, after school in the library. They can use their Chromebook in another class or during lunch. So I think it's important that everyone has access, but I think it's also important that we realize that most students do have access at home. Before we implemented the one-to-one at our school, we did a survey to find out what percentage of students don't have internet access at home. And even though we have a 50% free and reduced lunch rate with our students, only 5% of them didn't have internet access at home. Also, I want the things we do to enhance a student's understanding. If they're doing technology assignments that are confusing to them, or that they don't understand, or that are hard to navigate, I'm really not going to enhance any of their understanding. These were the sources that I used. 2 of them were textbooks, and 1 of them was a website. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to your input.